All right. Good morning again. It's a few minutes after 9. We may have a couple of folks that will continue to come in during the training. So we'll go ahead and get started. Again, if there are any questions or comments during the training, feel free to unmute, ask questions. You can utilize the chat as well. These trainings are fairly straightforward and high level. It's hard to train for absolutely every scenario that could happen when it comes to online sales. So it's totally understandable that there may be questions later on, especially as you start selling more online. So today's agenda for our order process training is pretty quick. We're going to do a quick introduction just to Revolution Parts, who we are and what we do. From that, we'll go to some quick discussions about how to go the extra mile for your customers online. From there, we'll go straight to our live demo in Revolution Parts to walk through the entire order process, best case scenario and what to look out for, including potential fraud warnings and other customer service issues. And then we'll wrap it up with a couple of questions and then best practices and recommendations as well. So real quickly about me, I'm Kristen. I'm part of the dealer advisor team. I've been a proud revolutionary since September of 2020, and you'll typically see me in trainings like this, whether they're for large groups or a one-to-one. I've been in automotive just about all of my working life, including behind the counter and in the aftermarket. So I'm very familiar with a lot of the challenges that your dealerships may face. And I'm very passionate about what I do, what you guys do, and how we can work together to achieve online success. In regards to Revolution Parts, we've been around since 2014, and we're an assortment of former parts and automotive professionals, e-commerce experts, and professional marketers. Since we've been around, we've actually helped to drive more than $1.5 billion in online part sales for our dealerships. And as of 2022, we were recently named a Google Premier Partner, which is a title that 3% or less of businesses and agencies can state. So we're extremely proud of that success. It's all due to the hard work of our parts managers and teams out in the field, and we look forward to helping you achieve some awesome milestones as well. Now, depending on your package subscription or the selling channels you have, once you graduate from Ivy and Erica, you may get partnered with a dedicated success manager. That will be someone similar to myself that will be your lifeline to Revolution Parts for overall performance, strategy, and growth planning. We provide business reviews on the regular, as well as a variety of different reporting and analytics that we'll cover a bit through different trainings as well. We also have our support team on hand. They're based out of our home office in Arizona. They're available 8 to 7 Eastern Standard Time, either by phone, email, or chat. We have different tiers, and a lot of our service members have worked directly with the platform from multiple vantage points. So they're great for general questions around maybe processing an order or best practice in Revolution Parts. They're also great for technical troubleshooting or even urgent and time-sensitive matters. Outside of the human piece, we have a 24/7 knowledge base built into Revolution Parts. This is available through the Help tab on your Revolution Parts platform. And this is a growing library of quick guides, videos, walkthrough tutorials, and other resources, all related to either the features or the tools within Revolution Parts or automotive e-commerce as well. 9 times out of 10, our dealers have told us they've been able to answer a question or solve a problem by going to the knowledge base first. So be sure to check out this amazing resource. We do build this specifically for our dealers in mind, so we would love your feedback as well if we can improve any of the content or deliverables. All that aside, let's get to order processing, and that's why we're all here. So this is a quick breakdown of the typical order fulfillment overview. When a customer places an order with you through Revolution Parts, all Revolution Parts users will receive an email notification. You'll also see the notification on the Orders tab in Revolution Parts. Overall, the order page is going to give you a quick breakdown of information to help you easily identify where your orders are coming from if you're selling from multiple websites like local, eBay, or with one of our web stores. You can also look at the potential fraud risk for these orders as well as the customer's anticipated delivery date. Overall, this summary section is going to give us a breakdown of what to look for within these orders that we'll cover in detail. When it comes to actually processing the order, if you don't already know or have them set up, Revolution Parts connects and works directly with your shipping carriers. This can include third-party software like ShipStation or ShipWorks, but also your account credentials for FedEx, UPS, and Stamps.com. This helps us to pull in your negotiated rate to provide the best estimated shipping, both for your customers and for you as well in regards to your profit. This also helps you to streamline the process by being able to print your shipping labels directly from Revolution Parts. When it comes to online customers in general, it can be a little bit of a challenge to deliver a great or unique customer experience because you don't have the benefit of that person being right in front of you and working with your people, having that relationship. So not being able to see or even talk to your buyers can present some unique challenges, but we have some best practices that we always recommend to help your dealership overcome those challenges while also standing out against the competition. Something we always recommend is going to be to add high quality custom pictures to your listings, at least to the most popular items or those that may be the most difficult to determine. We know that sometimes parts, like maybe an alternator, will have a unique mount across different fitments due to the engine size. Some customers, especially retail and do-it-yourselfers, may not be familiar with some of these uniquities or how to tell that they have the correct part. So pictures are a huge help. It also is a great complement to the typical OEM pictures that we get, which tend to be exploded diagrams that we usually see in our service lanes or internally. We also have a variety of built-in tools included for all of our programs, no matter which subscription you're on, including abandoned cart savers and automated email messages. This helps you guys to quickly communicate with your customers, whether it's on a one-to-one or a one-to-many basis. Automated services like abandoned cart savers also work in the background to help you recover sales 24/7. We always encourage, of course, that you guys follow up on your orders, thank your buyers for doing business with you, and even ask for a review. Asking for a review can sometimes be uncomfortable if you're not used to it, but it goes a long way to helping your store build its online reputation and credibility. We also recommend double checking weights and dimensions as you're processing orders for ultimate accuracy and customer satisfaction. Weights and dimensions will come up a couple of times throughout our trainings. We get all of our OEM data directly from the OEM manufacturers, also in partnership with eBay Motors, which is one of the industry leaders. In that circumstance, some of the weights and measurements may be estimated or missing. Because we do help calculate shipping based on weights and dimensions, we recommend that you help our teams and the OEMs to improve this data accuracy by double checking. We also have ways for you to create clear online store policies, especially for things like return, warranties, or shipping. This helps to improve customer satisfaction and help to avoid potential issues in regards to a return or other service issue. And last but not least, when it comes to order processing, we always recommend doing what you can to make the unboxing experience unique and special. This could be a little bit of additional TLC, like dealer swag. I have quite a few dealerships that may throw in like license plate holders, bumper stickers, or even T-shirts and things like that, just as a thank you and as a bonus for their customer. Little things like these go a long way to help you stand out and can also help to earn repeat traffic as well as referrals. So from this point, I want to go ahead and jump into the live demo in Revolution Parts so we can see what the order process is like in real life. I do want to take a quick pause because I know we've had some folks jump in and join. Do we have any questions or is there any comments that anyone would like to add? You can feel free to unmute or utilize the chat. We have no questions or comments. We will keep on rolling, but feel free to interrupt. So as we touched on at the beginning of the training, with Revolution Parts, as soon as a new order is generated, any user in Revolution Parts will get an email notification. You can go to the order and process it directly from that email notification. However, as we talked about yesterday, we do recommend keeping Revolution Parts up and active on at least one workstation. You'll be able to see live orders that are coming through on your dashboard, as well as notifications here towards the top on the order screen to let you know when there's something new. The order screen is going to go ahead and default to all of our new orders first. These will be priority, but because you can update the statuses of different orders, you can also view them by all types, as well as those that may be in progress, ready to ship, already completed, or canceled. We cover failed and abandoned orders in a future training session. We do have tools in place to help recapture these sales and add additional gross profit to the bottom line, so be sure to check that out. Any return requests as well that will come from a Revolution Parts order from a customer will send you an email notification just like a new order and show here in the return section along the bottom. As we touched on yesterday and we'll cover in some future trainings, you can also access open quotes. These are used to capture customer information and potential sales for phone or walk-in inquiries that don't tend to convert. You can also create new quotes from the screen in the top right-hand corner and add new customers as well. In general, when you land on the order page, you're going to see an overview of the order, including the time it was placed and the expected ship date, which store that order came from, should you have multiples, customer name, including their fraud score, and other information. To begin processing the order, simply click on the order to go into the summary. I'm going to shrink the admin menu over to the left just so we have a little bit of additional room here, and we'll start going through the order process. Now, the first part of the order is going to be the summary. Best practice when you come into an order is, regardless of any of the next steps, always come in and put it in progress. This is especially important if you're on an OEM e-store program, because order routing is going to be based on your on-hand quantity as well as your proximity to the customer. However, if we see that you have an excess of new orders, we're going to assume that your dealership cannot take on the additional workload and will route those orders to the next closest dealer. Any status change that you make in Revolution Parts, you can also automatically notify the customer, and this is through a canned message, a template that we have set up in Revolution Parts that you can customize or leave at the default. We do have a place to go ahead and add your DMS invoice number if that is part of your process. You can also assign this order to a different user if you have the staff allowed. Customer information over to the right will be the general contact information that they've provided at checkout. You can also jump in here to make edits to your customer profile, view their order status, or see any notes that the customer may have added at some point in their buying journey. Typically, this may include special shipping instructions or drop-off instructions from your buyer. The next section is going to be the risk section, and this is where we'll start jumping into a little bit of our fraud prevention. Now, again, every order in Revolution Parts is going to automatically be assigned a fraud score from 0 to 100, with the higher the number being the higher potential risk. There are a couple of different things that we can check and also do to help ensure that we are processing a general or a genuine order. The fraud score will be shown here in the risk section. It will also be color coded, so low is green, medium is orange, and high are red. If you want to know more about why that customer was assigned a specific fraud score, you can click on the details button to the right to get general information. You'll typically see some type of fraud alert for every first new buyer on your website. We also take into consideration the customer's IP address in relation to their billing and their shipping information. Now, the IP address is not going to be a 100% yes or no against fraud. Some customers, especially like retail customers, the general public, may use some kind of VPN or IP protection software that can show their IP in a different location. This is where we want to go through and look at the additional details as well as check some additional content. Down in the billing and shipping section, we always recommend checking the view map through Google Maps. This just helps to ensure that the place you're sending the part is, to the best of your knowledge, a legitimate residence or business. If you have any concerns or questions in regards to the billing, you can reach out directly to the customer within the order, which we'll go to here shortly. You can also see the shipping method that your customer requested. It's important to know that on the website, they will not see the shipping carrier. So if you're using FedEx, UPS, and the post office, or you're just using one of those, your customers will see local pickup, local delivery, ground, next day, expedited, overnight, etc. They will not see the carrier. This gives you an opportunity to go in and adjust the quote based on your best rates and your preferred method. Down in the content section is going to be the meat and potatoes. So these are the parts that the customer has actually ordered. We have a blue content bar here, which will house the VIN information if it's been provided and or the vehicle fitment. In circumstances where you may have a high dollar order with some concerns around fraud in the beginning of the order and a missing VIN or fitment, we're always going to request to use your discretion. Now, we do have dealers that may either reach out to this customer if a phone number has been provided, or even send an email asking for a VIN so that they can ensure the best part for their purchase. If it's a fraudulent order, you may not get a response on this, or the customer may try to get you to neglect putting in the VIN. Again, use your discretion in moving forward with the order. The parts detail is going to duplicate what is in the OEM catalog that we're pulling. Down here under the product description will be the weights and dimensions that we touched on in the beginning of the training. So you can simply click on the pencil here to edit and update. Be sure to click save, and any changes that you make to a part within an order stays with that part number for the entire time you are with RevolutionParts. This helps to improve shipping estimations for your customers as well as for you. Further down to the right, we can see the price that the parts were sold at, as well as the product availability. In some circumstances with the OEMs, including our e-store partners like Stellantis or Mercedes-Benz USA, we are working on getting these product availability directly from the OEM in the catalog feed. However, you can update them one-to-one or up to 15,000 part numbers at one time. From within the order, you can select the drop-down to choose the most updated record. We are unfortunately seeing a lot of back order and discontinue right now. If you choose one of those options, you will be able to put in an estimated time of arrival to better inform your customer. If there are multiple items in an order, you can delete them in a circumstance where the customer decides they don't need that part, or perhaps you have a replacement, a variant for it. You can also add additional items down here towards the bottom under your subtotal in cases of an upsell or a related part. You'll also be able to add any discounts at the dealership. This is by no means required, but this can be utilized in cases of customer satisfaction, for escalated issues, or perhaps for a high priority wholesale customer. You'll be able to get quotes on your shipping rates, dependent again upon what you have connected to RevolutionParts and what is available. Once you've been able to determine that you can either order all of the parts to fulfill this order, or you have them on hand, you want to go down to the payment screen and collect the funds as soon as possible. Now, default settings with the payment gateways, including PayPal, Authorize.net, and Stripe, will be to put a temporary authorization or hold on the purchaser's funds until you go in and capture the sale. By having an authorization, this helps us to satisfy your customer easier or resolve an issue if you have to go back and perhaps cancel or refund an item. Waiting too long to collect the funds between the time that the order was placed and the time that you collect the funds and ship out the order can also cause the hold to be removed and you will be unable to process the order. We have ways for you to be able to get the funds, but it will be a few additional steps for you and your buyer, so be sure to collect your money. Down below, you'll see timestamps as well. So this is especially helpful if you have a buyer who is concerned that a payment may not have gone through, if a return has not gone through, or if their order was canceled and the funds never captured. Just like with fraud detail, over to the right, we have a details tab that will give you a message from your payment gateway to let you know why you see each status. Internal notes can be added as well. These are not visible to your buyers. These are strictly internal, but be mindful because anyone who has a RevolutionParts username for your dealership will be able to see those notes. RevolutionParts admins as well will be able to see them, and they can't be deleted. So they're in RevolutionParts forever. These are typically used, again, for any special circumstance with the buyer, whether it's an escalated issue or a customer satisfaction issue, or if they have some specific instructions in regards to their order. Just below, we have our messages section, and this is where you can email your customer directly from the order. Any correspondence between you and your customer through RevolutionParts will be saved in their order, as well as their customer information and your RevolutionParts message center. All of this is great to have on hand and to be sure that you utilize because it comes in handy should we need to provide any kind of proof around an order cancellation or return. When you click on Email Customer, you can go ahead and customize your message in here or use one of the templated messages that we already have. Some of the most common ones that can be utilized will be then asking your customer to provide that information so that you can guarantee the fitment of their part. Down below is the activity log. This is just going to be a timestamp record for when your customers have placed their orders or done anything in regards to RevolutionParts, as well as what your team members have done. So this is a great audit trail as well. Again, if you should have any customer concerns down the road. Once we've been able to verify that we can process this order, we've collected the funds, it will automatically take us to the shipment screen. You can also go directly to the shipment screen here, up a little bit towards the right under the subtotal, especially if there's a circumstance where you have some items in stock and others need to be ordered. When you go to create your shipment, it's going to default to the shipping label screen. Again, if you have your shipping carriers integrated with RevolutionParts, or if you're using ShipStation or ShipWorks and have that integrated with RevolutionParts, you'll be able to print your shipping labels directly from this screen. We do have setup for thermal printers as well as standard PDF printers. When you're in the order processing screen, if we're going to process the shipping labels through here, we'll double check the items that we want to send out. Since we have one item that is going to be on back ordered and is not in stock yet, we're going to deselect and go ahead and ship what is in stock. You'll notice over here to the right that the amount that we have to collect as well as package information will automatically update as we make these selections. In cases where you may have a lot of items, instead of putting them in one box and risking ridiculous shipping charges, you can also break up your order into multiple shipments, even if they're going out at the same time. This can be preferred, as I said, because it's a good way to help keep your shipping in line and improve your gross profit. For items that do not ship within their own box and need additional packaging, we always recommend that you utilize the boxes section to either create custom boxes for specific products or simply update the weights and dimensions final for this item. Again, this will help to improve the accuracy of the shipping estimations for you and your customer. We'll see a declared value based on the items that are in the shipment. You can also request additional insurance, as well as save these dimensions for those same items in the future. Once we've made all of our selections, depending on the carriers that we have available, it's going to generate our quotes. It's going to give us the estimated amount, your estimated profit, and then the estimated delivery time in relation to when the customer requested the order. Once you've made your selection of how you want to ship your item, go ahead and click Create Shipment. You'll get a reminder to go ahead and collect funds if you haven't already done so. You can also do so by quickly hitting Collect Funds. We're going to automatically notify your customer via email that their order has gone out for shipment. However, if you choose to, you can remove that message. You also have the option to print an additional packing slip. Once you hit Create Shipment and funds have been collected, we'll process the order and it will go directly to your shipping label screen. So again, depending on the printer that you have set up, will depend on where this prints. Once you have your label, you can go back directly to the order page. We'll want to make sure that we hit Complete Order. Just like with orders that are in the new status, it's important to make sure that every order you've completed, you've shipped out, is marked as complete. Now, we're going to jump back to the shipment screen real quickly and touch on the other options that we have. In cases where this will be a local pickup, and this is determined by a radius that you set for all of your selling channels within your shipping methods, you can change the order fulfillment to customer pickup and make any notations here for your team internally and for your customers' records. If for some reason you're generating the shipping label outside of RevolutionParts, perhaps it's for a carrier that we may not yet integrate with, you can enter in that tracking number in your order fulfillment field here, as well as any additional information, the carrier, and the overall cost. All of this will live with the order and again, provide a great trail of accountability for you and your customers. I'm going to stop there. That was an awful lot of talking. I know we're right at time. We started a few minutes after to give folks time to join in. Before we wrap up the presentation and ask for any other questions, do we have any comments, or can I review anything in better detail within the order section? You can feel free to utilize the chat or unmute. If you don't have questions, that's okay too. So all of this, again, is absolute best case scenario. Most often orders are going to be quick and easy for you to process. We will have future trainings as well as some deep dives coming soon for instances that may be less common or that you may run into in the day-to-day. Either way, you have an entire team of revolutionaries across the coast ready to help you guys and eager to help you achieve your goals. So please feel free to utilize us. Ask questions to Erica and Ivy as you continue your training and onboarding. Reach out to me or our awesome support team. And thank you so much for joining training today. Have an awesome, safe, successful day.